The winter weather in North Florida impacting more than just people and roads. A bird rescue groups picked up more than a dozen pelicans, similar to Ginger's, famous from Tonight Show and late night appearances with David Letterman. Pelicans with frostbite and on their feet and beaks. Dave Hitzik, a familiar face from the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary. Talk about the frostbite, how big a problem it is, and do they have really any natural defense when places like Florida and the Gulf Coast are getting freezing temps?
Well, one of the problems is, we here in Florida, we don't think about, getting frostbite, but a lot of these guys in their northern habitats where they live, they, instead of migrating, are staying at the marinas because there's free food there. People are tossing food, and that causes them to stay as opposed to migrating. And then by the time they get exposed to that real cold temperatures and the freezing temperatures on their feet, and then they make it here, sometimes they can be in bad shape.
What kind of recovery then for them? There's dozens they've rescued. Would it be a pretty standard recovery, and unless it's extremely bad, they'll recover okay? What will they do for them?
Sometimes they'll end up with permanent damage. Actually, the webs on their feet, and I don't know if the camera can actually look at the feet,
Let's see if they can go in close.
Sometimes part of that webbing will actually disappear because of the scar tissue, and that makes it almost impossible for them to paddle around, and in the long run, that can give them difficulty surviving for the rest of their life.
A lot of them getting a lot of care, but it's a reminder that just like us humans, they're not used to this kind of weather, and so we all have to brace for it and recover from it.
Definitely. You have to think about what you're doing, and not only with wild animals and ourselves, but our domesticated animals, dogs and cats.
Quick 15 seconds about Ginger.
Ginger was originally brought to the sanctuary many years ago. She was tangled up in fishing line, and there she goes.
And Ginger's heading to the weather set. If we can get that shot, Steve Weagle, you can go home. And
great, we got a replacement for Steve.
Let's head on over to the weather center with Ginger. At any rate, you brought her in and have nursed her back to health, and she's had a long and famous life.
She was tangled up in fishing line, and unfortunately, because of the damage to her wings, although she can jump a few feet, she's unable to fly well enough. But she's become a great animal ambassador and helps us teach people about pelicans.
We'll keep you posted on how the others are recovering, Kelly.
Junior meteorologist as well.